Despite being a leader of a socialist country like North Korea, Kim Jong-un surely knows how to live large. International experts have estimated that the dear leader has approximately $5 billion in foreign bank accounts. However, these are just the accounts various intelligence agencies have found, while rumors spread that his fortune may as well be north of $100 billion. Whatever the exact sum is, Kim Jong-un lives one astonishingly lavish life. And although many of his subjects are constantly starving, the North Korean leader doesn't shy away from flashing his wealth. Care to learn more about Kim's ultra-luxurious lifestyle? Well, let's dive right in. Number 11. Security. Being a constant thorn in the rest of the world's butts, Kim knows he has a target on his back. So naturally, he prioritizes his security and spares no expense in ensuring his life is always safe. The North Korean leader's security detail consists of several thousand people who are on a constant lookout for any threat. The most noticeable, of course, are the dozen men in suits that run along with the dear leader's limousine at all times, and are ready to throw themselves in front of a bullet to save Kim's life. While I do like to crack jokes at the expense of the man with the funny hairdo, who can start a global nuclear war in a mood swing, his security detail is anything but a joke. They are highly trained martial artists and combat experts. However, Kim has some more extravagant ways to secure his life, like always traveling with 2 decoy jets, constantly changing his residence, and traveling on a random schedule between his 17 ultra-luxurious palaces. The sacrifices this man makes for his people. To have to switch between several heaven-like palaces and live in luxury a few in the world can afford. What a true national hero. Number 10. Watches. Kim Jong-un has been particularly interested in watches since he attended a private high school in Switzerland under a false name. The North Korean leader has a vast collection of the accessory, which, by some estimates, have cost him approximately $8 million. However, this obsession was hardly hit by the UN sanctions on luxury goods on North Korea due to their nuclear program. Let's hope Kim won't fall into abstinence and literally go ballistic on the UN. Today, the North Korean leader is most often seen wearing his favorite IWC Schaffhausen Portofino. The Swiss brand is worth at least $12,000, experts say. However, another one of his watches is even more curious. The dear leader of North Korea has been spotted wearing an American Movado Museum timepiece more than once, which can be found for around $1,500. Kim's, however, is far from the floor model, as the watch is made out of solid gold and a delicate leather strap. The price, although not disclosed, is estimated to be north of $10,000. Take that, American imperialists. Number 9. Cars. Much like all other dictators who denounce the West and their decadent ways, Kim has a thing for Western cars. So much so that it's reported that the North Korean leader has over 100 automobiles in his garage. Now, if only there were roads on which to drive them. Kim's favorite car is a top-of-the-line Mercedes-Benz Maybach S6000, which is quite popular among world leaders. The $1.6 million vehicle is an armored car, which can withstand almost all ammunition, including grenades and full metal jacket piercers. The limousine has an ultra-luxurious setting with leather seats, a minibar, and all the amenities any power-hungry dictator might need. The astounding car, however, is not sitting alone in his garage. It's accompanied by another armored Mercedes S62 with a price tag of $500,000, an Audi R8, a Range Rover Sport, and a Rolls-Royce Phantom. Number 8. Private jet. The North Korean leader is not very welcome in most places on Earth, but occasionally he does arrange a meeting outside the North Korean borders. In such cases, he travels in style on his luxury Ilyushin 62. While the plane itself is a Soviet relic, which is more appropriate to be seen in a museum, this particular model has been renovated and lavishly decorated to accommodate the North Korean leader's whims. On board, there are executive-style leather seats, mahogany desks and panels, decorations made from ivory, silver, and other precious metals, as well as crystal ashtrays, glasses, and more. Experts calculated, based on the few photos that were shown on the state-run media, that the interior of the plane alone costs more than $1 million. Number 7. Yacht. To underline his hatred of the Western way of life, Kim bought a mega-luxurious $7 million yacht. The 200-foot-long floating palace was not that easy to acquire, as UN sanctions disallowed luxurious items to be sold to DPRK's officials. Nonetheless, Kim managed to get his hands on one of Princess Yacht's gems. Dennis Rodman, who is one of the high-profile friends of the North Korean leader, compared the yacht to a cross between a ferry and a Disney cruise ship. Little is known about this yacht, but as it seems, it has a swimming pool and several luxurious decks with various amenities. Number 6. Personal train. However, Kim's favorite way of transportation is by train. Naturally, the dear leader has one just for himself, so he wouldn't have to mingle with the commoners. We all know that in socialism, everyone's equal, but some are more equal than others. I'd imagine that if there aren't railways wherever Kim's going, dissidents would carry the train by hand. The carriages used by the DPRK's leader are fully armored and can withstand even armor-piercing bullets. The interior is nothing short of spectacular, as the few photos from within show an ultra-luxurious setting with gorgeous leather seats and decorations. And while almost no one in the DPRK has access to the internet, everyone aboard this train have. Well, everyone aboard most often is just Kim Jong-un and his entourage, but still, there are at least 20 railroad stations across North Korea, which only exist so Kim can get on board his train and travel to the next location. Naturally, these stations are near his palaces and places of interest, as one of them is on his private pleasure island. Kim took a few pages from his Middle Eastern colleagues and seized an island for himself, better known as Pleasure Island. This place is much like Ibiza or Mallorca, with lavish parties, expensive alcohol, and luxurious bars. This is where Kim takes some of his guests to have fun. For example, Kim's personal friend, Dennis Rodman, has visited the island more than once, and claims that along with the North Korean leader, there were at least 60 other ordinary people. Considering how seriously Kim holds his security, it wouldn't surprise me if those people were Secret Service agents who made sure no one would dare lay a hand on their beloved leader. The island is said to have some of the best social luxuries in the whole of North Korea. Reportedly, there is a Disney-style action park, a lot of fancy nightclubs, bars, and restaurants, as well as a top-notch sports complex. According to Rodman, you can have some of the best tequila in the world on the island. Knowing how much North Korean leader loves his booze, this wouldn't surprise me at all. Number 4. Expensive alcohol. Kim surely knows how to have fun. The dictator is a well-known fan of some spirits, wine and beer. While he prefers whiskey and cognac, his drinking habits have recently become more aligned with the global political climate. That means the North Korean leaders drink much more vodka these days, as it was reported that he spent over $171,000 on the Russian spirit. In comparison, his annual budget for champagne is around $140,000 and approximately $70,000 for beer. An estimate shows that the total amount he gives for alcohol over a single year exceeds $1 million. However, inner sources report that his cellars are full of fine whiskey and champagne, which could be worth as much as $30 million. Now that's what I call a heavy drinker. Number 3. Expensive dining. Besides the booze, Kim is well known for his appetite for delicious foods, unlike most of his subjects who've been struggling to feed themselves for years now. The North Korean leader enjoys his meals daily. It's estimated that he spends several million each year on food alone. His favorite cuisines include Italian pizza, high-quality pork from Denmark, black Iranian caviar, Japanese Kobe beef, fruits from around the world, and so much more. According to some insiders who defected from North Korea, the dear leader was obsessed with cheese, probably another habit he obtained during his school years in Switzerland. While some world leaders may make fun of his husky appearance, many believe that he purposefully stays in this shape to show his people that he is rich and powerful. One could only wish for him to go a step further and get himself at least gout. Number 2. Floating restaurant. The dear leader surely knows how to make his experiences more extravagant when it comes to dining. That's why in 2015 he commissioned a floating restaurant on the Taedong River. This is one of the few items which the leader shares with his subjects, as everyone is welcomed aboard the Rainbow. The floating entertainment center has 4 stories of cafes, restaurants, and other amusements. Kim called it a gift to the people, and oh boy, do the people flock to this piece of heaven. The restaurant workers share that people literally got into fights over who would take the spot that Kim sat in that one time, and who wouldn't fight for the chance to sit where the dear leader farted. Number 1. Ski resort. Another massive project seemingly for everyone to enjoy, but let's be honest, it's for the inner circle of the Korean leadership, is the Masikryong ski resort. This massive project took only 10 months to complete. The centerpiece of this resort is a fabulous hotel with all the luxurious amenities one could desire. A swimming pool, ice rink, 5-star restaurant, and everything you may find in a first-class hotel anywhere in the world. The lavish resort is said to have cost Kim nearly $34 million, and he plans to invest another $8 million to increase the resort by another 260 miles. In all honesty, the main goal of this resort is to allure some of the many Chinese tourists who otherwise go and spend their money in Europe, which is surprisingly industrious for the short man who's ready to blow up the world at any moment. From fancy watches and cars to luxurious resorts, top-of-the-shelf alcohol, first-class food, and questionable morality, Kim Jong-un surely knows how to live large. More importantly, with his massive bank account and tight security detail, he will surely expand on this extravagant list of luxurious purchases. So what do you think his next huge spend would be? Let me know in the comments below.